So with our scriptures this morning, I really want to focus in three areas. First, passion. Second, cynicism. And lastly, the decision to love. So first, passion. In our first reading, it would be easy to describe Philip, who goes to Samaria to preach, as a passionate person. Somebody who's passionate is highly motivated, they're energized, you can see their excitement. And he goes to Samaria as a result of a persecution that broke out in Jerusalem. And so his going to Samaria was actually in response to the persecution that the Christian community was experiencing. But as he goes, he preaches and he shares the good news in such a way that people are motivated by his passion. So how do you maintain passion? How do you keep passion? That's always a question, because both in relationships and in professions, in hobbies, how does someone stay passionate? So I want to teach you a German word. It's a really cool word because the Germans take all these different words and put them together into one and create a new word. And so the German word for passion is Leidenschaft. And if you want to use it in a sentence, you could say, Schwimmen ist meine Leidenschaft. Swimming is my passion. Sounds great, right? So you can be passionate about many things. You can be passionate about swimming, you can be passionate about hiking or running, you can be passionate about your spouse, but how do you maintain passion? How do you keep that passion alive? Well, first, it's important to go back to the German word Leidenschaft, because as the Germans put words together, their word for passion is suffering, Leiden, and an ability. So in Germany, passion is the ability to suffer. Very romantic, right? But it makes sense if you think about it. There's nothing that you can be passionate about that does not require effort. There's always effort involved when we're passionate about something. Whether it's a relationship, a hobby, a profession, it requires determination to go after a goal even when it is challenging or difficult or painful. And what often happens is when people go after a goal, when people pursue something they're passionate about, they can get hurt along the way. Sometimes when people experience loss or pain or death or suffering, they lose their passion. They become cynical. And cynicism isn't really somebody who's just negative. Cynicism is actually a person who at one time was passionate, but then they got burned and they decided to not care about anything ever again so that they never had to feel pain again. And it is an effective strategy, except the person becomes a shell of what they used to be. And so when someone lives through cynicism, they see everything simply as a chance of pain. And rather than feel pain, they feel nothing at all. It's a sad reality. But as Christians, we're offered an alternative. We're offered something different. And so I want to introduce you to one of our saints. When I was in seminary, there was a course in the seminary on St. John of the Cross. Now, you weren't allowed to take it until at least your third year in seminary, because the professor said at least by the third year you had suffered enough to understand John of the Cross. Now, St. John of the Cross was a reformer of the Carmelite order. And he was invited to help reform the Carmelite order by St. Teresa of Avila. And so John of the Cross did just that. He started to bring about this reform to simplify and get back to the basic roots of the Carmelite community. Now, not everybody was excited. In fact, some of his Carmelite brothers were so unexcited about his reform that they kidnapped him. And they took him to a prison in Toledo that was a 6x10 cell without a window, and they left him there for 9 months. The only reason he was there just 9 months is because he eventually escaped. Now, when he escaped, John of the Cross had every reason to be bitter. He had every reason to be angry and cynical and resentful. And instead, while he was in prison, he wrote some of the most influential and beautiful poetry that is a treasure of Spanish literature and Catholic spirituality. He wrote about the dark night of the soul. He wrote about the ascent of Mount Carmel. in all of these things, he brought about something different. Now, it's interesting that he spent 9 months in a tiny little cell. What else spends 9 months in a tiny little cell but a baby? And as that baby grows, it comes out into the world to give hope, to bring life into the world, to bring light. That's a choice. It's a choice for us in the midst of suffering. It's a choice for us in the midst of loss or disappointment to choose to live out of love. And that's why we say that love is actually a decision. I know a lot of times we feel like love is an emotion, and love is something we feel sometimes and we don't feel at other times, but real love, profound love, is actually a choice. It's a choice in the midst of other options to choose to love. And that's why in the gospel, Jesus gives a command. It's the command to love. And you might say, well, how does a person like John of the Cross come out of a horrible experience without being cynical? It's called the power of the Holy Spirit. And that's why in all of our scriptures today, we hear about how the Spirit works with us through all situations to bring about a new hope, a new joy, a new love. And it's not just our own personal lives, it's really our lives lived for others. Because that's also what love does. Love is never selfish. It always allows itself to be used to bring life to the world. And so our scriptures this weekend really give us that option. It places before us the option to live life with passion, to recognize that suffering isn't an indication that we've made a bad choice. It's an indication that what we're doing matters. What we're doing actually has value. That what we're doing is something worth being done. And so as Christians in the world, we're called to live with faith in the midst of a world that doesn't see the value of faith. As Christians, we're called to live in the world and proclaim a message of peace in a world that is surrounded by violence. As Christians, we're called to live in a world and proclaim the value and dignity of human life in a world that devalues life at every corner. It's different. It's a choice. But it's a choice to live with passion. It's a choice to love, and it's a choice to allow ourselves to be that vehicle of God's love so that we hear the command to love and we open our lives up to the Holy Spirit in such a way that the life we live is the life of Christ in the world today.